I tell people all the time, Jay is like Carmelo. If you put him in the right role, he will shine and deliver you quality on this level. But he's no longer the MVP caliber. Hip-hop overall is down. Very little music is coming from top artists as expected from the first quarter projections, but it still hopes. Drake claimed to come to save the first quarter like Elon Musk, but no word, just a bunch of pushback. The underground sector had a strong January, but it's tailed off with only one in February. As usual, those stocks are subscription based only. Contact me if you want those stock suggestions. Very disappointing as there was a surge on Valentine's Day of new underground projects and the typical 1st and 15th, but it yielded no growth. First quarters are usually breeding grounds for new artists' attempt to break into the mainstream, but I will say they were a bunch of disappointments to this point. Duke Deuce, CJ, Little TJ. Little TJ is making some waves, but nothing special to drive up his stock so far. Brit Fires is showing some promise, but we need to see him with more time. Doc D is a ripoff of the MF Doom stock that lacked under Logic's imprint. Seems like the lone bright spot in the newcomer industry sector would be DVSN. After the acquisition to OVO, expect some great things to come from this stock, or they will be consumed to continue to help the rise of Drake. We have never seen this level of success, and history says that eventually he will crash. But with key moves like these, the longevity he's shown to this point, I don't think the downfall of Drake is happening this year. Smart money is on his continued success and the quality music. But let's go ahead and look at some of these stocks that people have been following. Meek Mill, who's currently down. He is trending down for allegedly dissing Kobe. And this was trending down for a while, man. What he said was insensitive. Maybe. If I ever lack, I'm going out with my chopper, be another Kobe. But personally, I have nothing against this ball. How many people on social media were downing this, but were entertained when Gucci was smoking on that pack? In my point of view, all is fair game out here as long as the respect is there. This wasn't a diss at Kobe, it was a recognition of the situation. He since apologized, which is fine, but this is how hip-hop memorialize our icons. It has to happen. The problem is, it's Meek Mill, a stock that was once riding high, but has taken so many L's that it's become a walking punchline. Therefore, anything its CEO does has the community taking options on its downfall. Not fair, but that's the game that we play. I think with this latest L on the market, it limits the growth of others. Like, what is too controversial for this sector that is known for being controversial? I would like to see Meek and the others continue to push the envelope, regardless of the fallout. All respect to Kobe and his family, but she said she knows nothing of Meek's music, therefore she knows very little of her culture. And I'm willing to be the bad guy here as long as it's all respect to Kobe. JayZ is up for releasing maybe the best verse of the 2021 commercial industry so far. So much so that people started to ask for a new album. Now, pump your brakes on this stock. It looks like everything is going up, but let's not forget this isn't 2000s Jay. I tell people all the time, Jay is like Carmelo. If you put him in the right role, he will shine and deliver you quality on this level. But he's no longer the MVP caliber. Looking at his recent works, 444, Magna Carta, to even the Carter, this is clearly a blip on a radar of vast losses. JayZ has been trending down as he should with his prolonged experience in hip-hop. Most are perceiving selling half of Ace of Spades as a victory, but it's not. It reminds me of when JayZ said to boycott the Super Bowl only so that he can make the halftime show. He again fails at ownership but cashes in by being a face. I for one am shorting this stock. Yes, it's going up and people were reminiscent of what JayZ means to this culture, but when people realize who JayZ is again, this stock will plummet. You will wish you didn't invest. Bobby Shmurda is up. This is a feel-good story of the year. A real moment when loyalty to your people is proven through the toughest of times. Bobby Shmurda's name is now made of solid gold and is trending in the right direction with his release from prison. I love it. This brings big questions though. Has the game passed him? Has he improved with the time that he's been locked up? While he was away, the likes of, say, Young M.A. has made their own variations of his style and cashed in. Bobby needs a hit, something unique and new that these millions of followers can build with. Just as fast as people love you, people will hate you in this social media environment that he is just now about to meet. Think about it. He was in jail for the entire Me Too and cancel culture's origins. Will he thrive, or will this moment in life just be a fond moment of history like the Free Pimp C movement? I, for one, am rooting for Bobby, but I'm withholding my vote of confidence in this stock until later. I need to see how he adapts and hear what new ideas this CEO has to offer. Keep in mind, this game is vicious. It's what have you done for me lately. Bobby will get some slack, but he needs to get back to work ASAP. Tekashi, who is still banned from the stock market, is mocking King Von, but that isn't going to stop his ban. He is only being mentioned here to show the sharp contrast of character. Bobby is a legend in the moment and has a real second chance. Tekashi has been running for his life, spending too much overhead on security, and has become a meme stock. The Capital Fund Caroline record label tried to pump his latest project to no reward. They're probably going to dump it. The end seems to be closing in on him and his primary investors like, say, DJ Academics, whose stock has been free falling for owning a heavy stock hold in Tekashi. Sadly, he's too far invested to pivot off this stock and is along for the entire ride, like it or not. The defunct Everyday Struggle stock tried to move on, but the falling knife known as Tekashi took that brand off the market as well. Lesson learned here, snitching is a career-ending offense. The mistake was thinking the increased levels of disrespect would offset such. But when your street evaluation goes into the negatives in a market that's dominated by the streets, it's not going to work. No rally could be sustained, no profits could be made, and everyone around this stock is taking a nosedive. Disrespect is a proven means to build a stock, but even that has its limits. The baby is trending down. Because no, it wasn't a diss towards JoJo Siwa. According to the baby, it was a play on words. News of this makes a lot of sense. Self-appointed best rapper alive made a ball around his first name, Jonathan, that no one cared to know, and put it in the most confusing context because nobody in this market really knows or cares who JoJo Siwa is. When you do this, confusion is sure to follow. This is why you are not the best alive, the baby. It's called market awareness. Knowing where the industry is going and knowing how to relate to your audience. Why is it your stockholders' fault that your Consumer Report had more to do with an unrelated stock to the entire NASDAQ? Confusion is frowned on in this market, and it leaves the people selling off stock. And I don't blame them there. You shouldn't have bought into this stock to begin with. Ice Cube is up. See, during the election, Ice Cube took a bit of a hit because of his willingness to work with both Republicans and Democrats for the greater good. He was criticized by people who know very little about politics, being named as a Trump supporter. Clearly, he wasn't. But the misinformed make things trend, and that dictates the market. Now that the election is over and the dust is starting to settle, Ice Cube is becoming one of the biggest gainers. This is directly related to Biden and his policies. It didn't help that Trump freed Kodak and gave Lil Wayne a pass, but that has been more for black people than what Biden has done to this point with all the power the government has to offer. He claims he can't do anything specific for black people, but turns around and does specific policies for Asian people. Black people put you in office, but Asians get the anti-discrimination protections. Illegal immigrants have obtained more from this administration than those who have been downing Ice Cube for doing the common sense thing and making demands for a vote. Ice Cube is seeing recovery, not on the level of Bobby Shmurda, but the longer it takes for Biden to do anything specifically for black people, the better the outlook is here. And knowing the history of Biden, I'm buying Ice Cube as much of his weed line as I can. His love and popularity will continue to grow tenfold because it's the policy of the Democrats, as leaked by WikiLeaks, to never promise black people anything. Democrats have stuck to this philosophy since before Obama, and with them in power, nothing will change anytime soon. Cube will see a resurgence. not in music, but in the culture, and that's worth a lot more here.